Hi everyone, my name is Aileen Wu. I am an Olympic weightlifting coach and welcome to my reaction of the 2019 CrossFit Games men's clean event. So here we go. Saxon Panchik, love those knee sleeves. Feet under the bar, hands on bar. He's kind of in a rush. Looks like he's looking for an aggressive grip and rip, a decent grip and rip. I love aggression coming into the barbell and I love this attitude of I'm gonna get after it. One of my issues with it is it may not completely serve you. When one is really aggressive coming into the barbell like that, it tends to be a fast pull, a fast like, hey, let's just grab on the barbell and go, as opposed to really taking your time and getting your checklist met in terms of feet under the bar. What do my feet look like? Hands on bar. What does straight ahead look like? Where am I looking? Getting tight on the bar. Building tempo slow, getting that pop at the end. If you're fast at the beginning and just a little bit faster at the end, okay, like that's good, but if you're a little bit slower at the beginning and you're this much faster at the end, this buys you more than this. It's that buildup of momentum, that buildup of acceleration that gets you that pop on that barbell, that gives you that weightlessness, that gives you that height to get under the barbell. So love the aggression, would have liked more separation in terms of tempo. Let's watch this slow. Feet under the barbell, doesn't look for where his feet are. He's in a race, right? Hands on the barbell. He's getting ready, look straight ahead. I like the weight is not on his heels. He's about mid-foot, okay. Goes for the pull. He's pushing back, but his knees are starting to come in, okay. Knees coming in, back angles coming up straight. Okay, there's a little separation with him and the barbell. Let's see what happens at the knees area. Here, the knees are coming back a little bit too fast. He's struggling with keeping the barbell close. You can see it in his face. You can see here now, especially, you see the separation with him and the barbell. You see the chicken neck start to happen. The back isn't tight. He goes for the jump. He jumps a little early because he has to, because the knees came back a little bit too much. If he could keep the barbell closer to his knees and fix that part of the pull a little bit, he'd have another inch or two before he would have to be at this position. But he does a good job of the shrug and the pull under. You see a slight forward jump and his legs are strong enough to make that happen. Good job. And I really want to know who makes those knee sleeves. Adrian Mundwiler, 335. Feet under the bar, doesn't look where his feet are relative to the barbell, hands on bar. And he pulls, and I don't mind this pull, although the bar is way out in front of him and the butt comes up first. Let's watch it slow. Feet under the bar, wide. Feet forward, doesn't look where his feet are relative to the bar, rolls the bar to him, don't love that. Kind of looks straight ahead, gets tight for a little millisecond, butt comes up first, weight comes up forward on the toes a little much more than I'd like. Starting to see a little separation between him and the barbell, butt's coming up first. For above the knee position, it shouldn't be this forward on your toes, but okay. Now you see a lot of separation with him and the barbell. The knees come back a lot. You see the early arm bend. You see all that gap. He's trying to make up for it, pulling the chest up, but look, he's already scooping under. The weight's already starting to come forward on his foot and he's only at above the knee. But he just early arm bends the crap up out of that bar, pulls it into his hip and jumps up and back with it. He jumps up and back with it early, but that early arm bend saved him like crazy, just pulling it into his hip like that. A decently smooth pull. Good job. McLeod, 335, feet under the bar, doesn't look where his feet are, hands on bar, rolls the bar, doesn't get tight. It pulls him forward off the floor, doesn't get enough height on the barbell. All the stuff that we saw earlier, but now matters at 335, which honestly, like based off his strength, shouldn't. This should be easy for him. Just a couple of minor fixes. So let's watch the first pull slowly. Feet under the bar, hands on bar, doesn't look where his feet are relative to the bar, pulls the barbell to him, hands on bar. The reason I'm such a stickler for feet under the bar and that being the same position each time is because Olympic lifting is such a positional lift and it's very technical and it's almost exacting. So if you don't know where your feet are relative to the bar, that's one of the big things that determines your setup on the barbell and your position. So now you're just going off of feel and it could be totally off. And this is a heavy lift for you, but okay, so let's see what happens. hands on bar, doesn't get tied up off the floor. Look, he's going to pull. You see a little bit of the jolt. It's not that exaggerated, but it's already pulling him forward on his toes. Now he's looking down. Where your head goes, your body follows. So I would prefer him to look straight ahead. Look how far forward he is on his toes already. He's coming back a little bit, but it's very much forward on his foot. There's a lot of early arm bend here. He's struggling to like stay tight on the barbell. Still looking down, separation with him and the barbell at above the knee. Weight very much pulled forward. And so here he is, just past the knee sleeves, not even looking straight now or up, looking down or eyes closed. And he has to jump because it pulled him forward at the beginning. So he has to jump. So he's here and he's already having to jump, eyes closed, having to jump, as opposed to being here and jumping. Do you notice the difference between that? That's like a solid, what, 3 inches? So here he's already jumping. He does a good job of the shrug and high pull, so he gets a little bit of height there, but look, it's a little forward and it crashes down on him enough that he wasn't able to make that lift. Getting tied up off that floor, if it bought him just an inch, should have bought him that lift. Good job. I would have loved for you to make that lift. James Newbury, 335, long athlete, feet under the bar, looks where his feet are. I appreciate that. Hands on bar, doesn't get tight. He does a good job keeping it close, doesn't get a lot of height on that barbell. Let's watch it slowly. Feet under the bar, appreciate that he looks at where his feet are. Kind of getting psyched, taking a breath, great. Hands on bar. Doesn't look for a spot first, does a scoop under pull up, a decent pull up, pulls him forward just a touch, not a lot, but he does a good job of pulling his knees back, weight coming back, keeping the bar close. But right here, the knees slack off. And right here, you can see that look on his face. He's having trouble holding it. You see a touch of an early arm bend, but you're starting to see the bar drift forward. Bar drift forward, and look, having that slack with your knees pulling back, having that bar pulling you forward, pulls the weight forward on your foot. And so now here you are just above the knee sleeves and you're already having to jump. And you're having to do this aggressive early arm bend to keep it close. Prefer the lats tight over the arm bend, but it's where we are. And here he's jumping. He does a good, look, he has to jump forward to get it. He receives it a little forward. He does a good job with the shrug, pull under, but that's what happened there. Good job, 335, James Newbury. 335, Jacob Heppner. Getting stoked, feet under the bar, doesn't look where his feet are, hands on bar, rolls the bar, don't love it, doesn't look straight ahead. Does a slow tighten up, does a decent job keeping it close though. It's still in front of him. I dare say more difficult than 335 should be for him based off what I can tell of his strength. Let's watch it slowly. So feet under the bar, hands on bar. Does the pull under tighten up, doesn't look for his gaze straight ahead first, goes to pull, you see a little bit of a jolt, it pulls him forward on his feet very, very slightly, but he's pulling his knees back now. He's trying to keep the bar tight to him. I appreciate all those things. Back angle stays the same, pulling it up. Right here, you see the knees come back a little bit too much. You start to see them kind of lock out slack. Bar is in front of him. And now you see all the separation, but he pulls it back in right here, right at above the knee sleeves. But you do see the back kind of come in a little bit. So he's a little concave here as opposed to this big chest tight back. He does a little bit of chicken neck. He's way more forward on his feet than I would, not way, but more than I'd like for at this point. But he does the little arm bend scoop into him thing to buy him an inch, it looks like up the thigh. Does a decent job of the shrug high pull, but as you can see where he received that barbell, he received it forward because of everything that happened earlier. Strong enough to make it happen, great adjustments to make that happen, but little inefficiencies that could have made that easier for him. Scott Panchik, feet under the bar, hands to the bar, doesn't look where his feet are relative to the barbell, tightens up, does a great job keeping it close. Not a lot of shrug high pull, but he does a great job keeping it close. Again, like I said earlier, he does the stylistic thing of butt coming up first, but controlled. Let's see that slow. Feet under the bar, hands on bar, doesn't tighten up before he goes. Doesn't look for his gaze before he goes. Waits on his heel, but as he stands up, see, it does pull him forward, but maybe that's why he starts so far back with his weight on his heel, knowing that that's going to do that. And from here, he does pull the knees back. The weight does come back with him, but you can see that arm bend get more and more aggressive as he needs to keep that bar closer and closer to him. Would have preferred the lats tight over the arm bend. So I don't love this position. You're halfway up your thigh. You're concave here, which you have to be because you're trying to maintain tension with the early arm bend. Weight a little forward on the foot. but he does a good job of with that armband scooping it up his thigh, getting a good jump up and back, and getting that good pull under. Gudmundsson, 335, feet on the bar, doesn't look where his feet are, hands on bar. Doesn't tighten up. It's just so smooth. I just so like this pull. Feet under the bar, hands on bar. Goes to pull, a little bit of slack. You can see it pulling forward just a little bit. He's pulling his knees back, the weight is coming back on his foot, but you can still see the inclination more towards forward than I would like. Pulling his knees back. His butt came up slightly, which you can see because of the angle of him relative to the barbell, relative to his knees, and you're starting to see a little bit of separation. You see the separation even more here now with the knees slacking off, but he makes sure to pull it into him. A little bit of a bump, shrug, high pull. If there's all these things in Gudmundsson's lift, why do you like it so much? I like it so much because it's smooth. I like it so much because he does a great job of keeping the barbell close to him. I'm being like really picky in terms of the barbell and the tightness of him relative to the barbell, but he does still do a good job of keeping it tight to him, and the tempo. He starts slow and he builds up in speed, pass to the knees, build up in speed with a little pop at the end. Another reason I like his pull, when you see people who have practiced their pull and they know their positions so well, it's a different kind of pull as compared to a novice or someone who doesn't really know it and they're moving through the positions. It's a little bit more jagged. Would have liked to see it tighter. He could be a little closer, but it's just so smooth. All right, Matt Fraser, 335, feet under the bar, hands on bar. He was a little slower with feet under the bar this time, starting to get a little bit more intentional about it. When it's a light enough weight and you can barbell cycle it, it's not as crucial. The heavier it gets, the more important it is. Notice also he's measuring with his hands. You can see it right here, thumb out, measuring where he is against the barbell. So feet under the bar, hands on bar. Does the scoop get tight under thing? And it looks just as good as 325. It's beautiful. Let's look at it slow. Tightens up on the barbell, starts to pull the barbell up, starts to pull the barbell up, starts to pull the barbell up, knees come back, knees come back, knees come back, butt comes up slightly. Again, part of his stylistic butt come up, then come under thing. Weights coming back on the foot, knees come back, weights coming back on the foot. Notice how close that barbell is. It's basically riding his shins. Barbell's coming up, barbell's coming up. It looks even closer than it did at 325 in terms of barbell relative to him. You see a little bit of separation, but it's closer than it was at 325. Notice how tight he is over the bar. The back is set. You don't see this curved back. Arms are straight. And he's solid on his feet. And from here, barbell's coming up. He's pulling back with the lats, pulling back with the lats, pulling back with the lats. As he goes up into that extension, follows it with the big shrug, big pull, pulls himself under, solid. Looks like he caught that a tiny bit forward, which you can see on the stand-up. He even has to take a step forward. I mean, we're being super, super critical, but like overall, incredible, beautiful, smooth lift by Matt Fraser. Noah Olsen, 335. Feet under the bar, doesn't look for where his feet are relative to the bar, hands on bar. Look straight ahead, slightly, doesn't get a ton of height on the bar, looks like he barely makes it. No Olsen, feet under the bar, hands on bar. Doesn't look for his gaze first, rocks under, doesn't get tight, butt comes up first, pulls him forward, separation between him and the knee. Jumps forward just a touch early. You can see it pulled him forward with the stand up of that barbell, butt had to come up first. Obviously super strong and made that lift relatively smooth without a problem. If he were tighter off the floor, that lift should have been easier for him. Thanks for watching my reaction to this part of the 2019 CrossFit Games Men's Clean event. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe below. For any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. If you'd like to work with me, check me out at www.wulift.com. We'll have more of this reaction coming soon. Thanks guys, have a great day.